Hello everyone, welcome to Final Fantasy Playlist, the digital series. My name is Adam, and today we are continuing our journey in the sorcery realm. This is the first sorcery adventure. We have yet to reach to 2, 3, and 4. I think we left it at a town or an inn. Shamutanti. Yeah, bit of a poor town, it said, but then everybody had loads of food and wine for us and gave away and was quite generous. So we didn't have a bad night there. So we're just going to continue along our journey. This is the first one since, Christmas is gone. It's all done and dusted now. So let me know in the comments below, did you have a good Christmas? What did you get up to? And this is the final sorcery of this year. There will be no more, for 2019. So final sorcery, final fight in fantasy, guys. And I'll see you in the next video in 2020. But for this video, let's continue our adventure. So, let's go beyond Shamutanti now. I think that's the way you pronounce it. I'm not really sure. Okay. It says here, you awake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave the village. This is now the third day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Shamutanti is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between the lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left heads directly off into the deep woodland. Let's go. We definitely want to go into the trees, I think. Oh, what's this? Do you wish to rewind the story? No. Why would you want to rewind the story? Cheat! Man, it's trying to get me to cheat. Unbelievable. It's trying the old five-fingered trick, isn't it? Oh, my life. What a bunch of con artists here. Okay. Your journey is too important to slow down by talking to locals. You must pass unseen, and so you disappear into the jungle of tall trees. For a short while, the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This is land that was never settled or explored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over the path. Mate, we're going to have to hack our way through it. Where's our sword gone? Oh, there it is. Here's my sword. Got me sword. Going to hack our way through. Yeah. Your journey is too important to slow down by talking to the locals. You must pass unseen, and so you disappear into the jungle of tall trees. For a short while, the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. Hey. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This is land that was never settled or explored. Yeah, we know that. And very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path. Moving carefully forward, you use your sword to cleave the bushes, and your progress is quick and silent. But I'm hacking my way. But it's silent. Then you come to a fork in the road, still deep in the Gato forest. Right, fork in the forest. Spoon in the mountains. Knife in the field. Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps as a guide, or perhaps as a warning, or a little lemonade stand selling for 5 cents each. The way to the right is marked for Dumpus. Dumpus? And a left turn to Alana. We don't want to go see Alana. The village warned me of that girl. we're not going to go there. A name you remember from what the man in Cristanti told you. Neither way seems the better trod. Well, Dumpus does, to be honest. We're going to go to Dumpus because we definitely ain't going to go see Alana. Because if she's in, it's a tricky situation. The path continues on between the trees, growing narrower. You have chosen well. The route is untrod, so you are unlikely to meet an attacker. You walk for several hours, following the twists and turns of the path through the trees. Then suddenly, you stop. You have heard a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks at the edge of the path. Right, draw your sword. You draw your sword, and you're glad to do so because at the moment you are attacked, in a flurry of foliage and dirt, a rat bear leaps from the undergrowth. It is much closer than you thought. Its sleek black fur allows it to hide in the shadows until it's almost upon you. May attack that thing. Charge it. Boom. The rat bear is startled by your approach, but drops quickly to all fours. You will not be intimidated by an overgrown rodent. You plant your feet and ready a mighty sword swing. And at the last moment, the rat bear leaps, all claws off the ground, and ready to plunge into your body. You chop it out of the air. Afraid of you, it rears back, claws raised. Get it again, let's cut it down. Standing firm, you swing a mighty blow at the rat bear, but it is read your intention and drops into a crouch. Light plays through the trees, and for a moment the true extent of the rat bear's injuries is revealed. It squeaks and snuffles, standing up on its hind legs. Let's defend this time. So let it attack us, right? You can almost smell the creature growing enraged and duck quietly behind a tree. Squeaking with rage, the rat bear squeaking with rage? But you keep yourself guarded. For a moment, it is close enough for you to smell its sewer breath. Where's the sewers in the forest, mate? Hey? Sewers in the forest? It stumbles back, tail whipped high in defense. Mate, let's get it. Cut it down. Boom. Oh. You risk an attack and dropping your weight, you chop a mighty stroke against the rat bear, but it knocks you aside with its paw. Mate. Sideswipe it. Sideswipe it. Sidestepping, you slash out at the rat bear, but it has guessed your move and raises its claws to protect itself. The rat bear screeches in an inhuman howl, and you take heart. It has almost fallen. It growls and grunts, rearing up, showing its full height. Mate, cut it down. Oh no! The rat bear charges and leaps, and it is on you. Teeth and slashing claws and lashing tail. Your own attack is forgotten, and you try to regain your balance. The vicious creature has wounded you, and worse, it knows it. Well, it's time to defend then, mate. Waringly, you move into a defensive crouch. The rat bear stays low and tries to ram you. It beats the air with its tail. Cut it down. Ugh. You risk an attack. Back up against the tree, you deliver a mighty swing at the rat bear. Then your sword slips between the creature's ribs and dives deep into its putrid heart. The rat bear squeals and falls to the ground, face down in the mud. Mate, we killed Rat Man. Why would I try again? I've just killed it. Why would I try again? It's crazy talk, that is. Crazy talk. Sidestepping. Hang on, wait. We've read that. We've read that. Yep. With the beast dead on the path, you are free to move onwards. Mate, I think we need to eat something. Let's go into our inventory. Let's have some rations here. We need to eat some fruit here. Boom. Definitely. Right, that's that. Right. Approaching Dumpus. Going to Dumpus. I wonder if it's like pronounced a French way, like deux fois or something, you know. The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and then emerges onto a sudden plain, as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. Like that. Big, gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its bank stands a tiny village. Tiny village, little hobbit village. You know, they're only like centimeters big. Little tiny. We're going to enter the tiny village. Let's hope we don't stamp on it. Today has been mercifully short and uneventful. You have made excellent progress. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start suspiciously, or no, auspiciously. So you begin to gentle climb down into the village, mate. How would a day start suspiciously? You wake up and go, I'm suspicious of this day. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be deux fois, or dumpus, or thumpus. Who knows? The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There is a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems a very unpleasant place. Right, well, let's talk to some villagers then, shall we? You pass along the main path through the village and pause outside a hut in which several of the hill dwellers are sitting and eating. They seem deep in discussion about something. Several are shaking their fists in the air. Lifting back the canvas flap, you step inside. The hill dwellers stop talking immediately and look at you. One gets to his feet and gestures you forward. Step over. You step forward. Then one of the others calls something in their native tongue and points it to your side, to where your sword hangs out below the hem of your cloak. In broken common tongue, the first man croaks, "No weapons," and he indicates a table by the door where you can lay your blade. Well, if everyone's doing it, I'll do it. You unfasten your sword belt and leave your weapon on the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation and then beckon you to sit with them. Then they continue their conversation just as animatedly as before, speaking in a local tongue that you cannot follow. Mate, they're probably all taking the mick out of me. But as they talk, they pour you a drink and provide you with food. Alright, I'm liking these guys. They seem quite welcoming, so let's listen. They've bought some BS time, okay? So they're gonna give me a drink, they're gonna give me some food. I will sit there and listen to their BS, okay? You eat and you listen, catching a few words here and there. Goblins, unarms, Christianity. They seem to be very concerned. Well, I've been to Christianity, guys. It seems alright. The men nod, but do not seem surprised. Slowly you piece together the story. The group seem quite sure that a horde of goblins are planning to attack on Christianity, which is apparently one of the wealthier spots in the hills. They're discussing whether or not it would be worth helping the village to defend itself, which might mean they are offered some kind of reward. Well, guys, you need to help them, alright? You must help them. Christianity, it does not need help us. It does not help us, sorry, one of the men points out. They are rich, we are poor. Mate, they said they were poor, alright? Or I said they were poor. Somebody said they were poor. Says, you can better help than me, because I'm on a quest already, mate. The men nod, swayed by your ruthless logic. And you? How do you fight? One man asks you. Mate, I serve the king of Analand. The men shrug. Then you serve a shadow. The sun is gonna go down. The evening draws to a close. The men thank you for your counsel and leave one by one. I think I've peed him off a bit. Oh dear. Right, let's explore the town now that my name is Mud. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 15 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Definitely need provisions. You examine the small bag of food. There is about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good for a traveller, I am sure. Well, we gotta buy them. You pay him 6 gold pieces, and you add the provisions to your pack. Let's have a look at that skull cap. What is it, man? You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Deity Lay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces, please. It looks like an object of magical properties, although what that might be is unclear. Don't we need a skull cap for something? Just right on. You place it on your head. Let's try this. Let's try the skull cap on. I got this left over from Christmas. Like my skull cap, everyone. You feel nothing. Christmas is gone. Do you know what I mean? We're coming up to the new year now. Yeah, let's put it back. You shake your head and place the skull back on the merchant's table. We've got a sword, so that's enough. The merchant smiles. Is there anything else I can help you with? Any work? Yeah, I want to earn some money. Is there any work to be had here? I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. Oh, you look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay and feed you for it. Sounds like hard work, mate. You won't get paid for free, the merchant replies, carefully wrapping away his merchandise as he talks, as if expecting you to steal something. He stares at you. So? He asks. He looks over his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way now, myself. You come in. Why would I go with him? Is he the one who's going to pay me to dig? Mate, let's just get out of here. This is a weird town. With the sun setting at the horizon, you head out of Dumfus. A little way beyond the village, you climb up to some small woodland near to a burbling spring. It is peaceful here, sheltered from the winds by trees on one side and the mountains on the other. Let's see. Let's continue walking through the night. It's not time for sleepies yet. The moon is full and you are making good progress, so you decide to walk on through the night. Do we need to eat? No, let's just go. You do not even stop to eat, because we're hardcore, that's why. The going is easy. Even after a long day of journeying, you soon leave the woods and follow an uphill path. At daybreak, you pause for an hour to gather your bearings and to rest your feet. Move on. The early morning is chill and fresh. You pause to enjoy the scent of the air, then set off once again more along the trail. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill and along one side of a barren, stony ridge. That looks like a town. Let's go downhill, because we've always gone up. You follow a meandering path around the side of a hill for most of the morning. It's difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you can't see any other alternative. So you keep moving, and eventually the path bursts out into a narrow stone ledge, high above the valley floor. The ledge leads left and right, and there is no way forwards. Let's look left. Let's just look. See what happens when we look. Well, left is that way for you guys. Looking left, you can see that the narrow ledge is formed by a splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. If there is a path up the other side, it is not clear from here. Well, let's look right then. Looking right, you are taken aback, as if out of the mist that fills the valley, an impossibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it only had fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes, and is suspended from this peak to the peak on the other side. Who could have built such a marvel, and how long ago? Well, let's have a look at this bridge. Maybe we can use it to cross. You take a moment more staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly in the wandering wind. The wind is wandering. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist? Or is it merely an illusion to trick the incautious traveler? But we don't need to eat, so we'll just move on. Getting to your feet once more, you take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip here and you will fall a long way down. Do you know what? I'm a bit wary now because we haven't slept. And, you know, if you haven't slept and then you try, you know, heavy equipment thing, you know what I mean? It's like we could fall to our death. Do we go down into the valley? Or do we go to the bridge? I don't know. It's a tricky one. I feel like this is a moment that's really going to dictate the story of which way we go. Coffee. Right. I'm going to say that I've got coffee on my mustache. Yeah, the reason I've got a tash, by the way, guys, is because previously over Christmas, I was the conductor in the Polar Express. So, yeah, well, I wasn't doing some sort of, you know, adult video from the 80s. So that's why I've got the porn tash. Right, we're going to go to the bridge. Let's live. Come on. You follow the narrow ledge up towards the bridge, expecting it at any moment, and it grows wings and flies away. As the ledge winds and weaves its way around the cliff, you reach the peak where the bridge is deeply anchored by its enormous stone foot. Beside it, there is a small, disheveled hut. Right, what do we do? Let's look at this disheveled hut. A small little shack. It's barely large enough to house a goblin, but someone has decorated it in a weird fashion, with outlines of figures tall and short and stocky, drawn in faded shades of wood, and some in red blood-colored clouds. What? And from a few of these figures, actual bones protrude from the walls themselves, as if they formed part of the structure. Whatever lies in here may have force beyond the physical. Let's go check out. Let's knock on that hut door, man. You walk over to the hut and knock. There's no answer. Stranger still. However hard you beat your fist, your knocking seems to make no noise, as if the wood were a cup of water and you were beating your knuckles against its surface. What shall we do? Let's see. Let's try going across the bridge. No matter. The hut is old and disheveled, probably empty. Setting your foot upon the bridge, you begin to make your way steadily across. Here we go. But you have gone only a few steps when you hear a voice calling from behind you. Halt, stranger! You turn to see an ugly, hunchbacked creature who is sidled out of the hut door. If you wish to pass, 2 answers must you give to Van Cass. Dude, it's a poet. Who is Van Cass, mate? The creature blinks, perhaps in surprise, and then he taps himself on the chest and tries to straighten up just a little. I'll give you your answers, you call back. The creature chuckles and asks his first question. Here we go. A sister I have, which in captivity. She lives in the woods, so first to tell me, do you know of her friend of this cunning dame? And how is she known? Tell me, what is her name? It's that Elena girl, isn't it? You have met no witch or sister, but perhaps you have seen clues. I reckon it's the Elena girl, so we're going to say A. That's it, Alania, that one there. The hunchback smiles. Your answer is correct and true. Now you must answer question 2. Dude, I've met Dr. Seuss on this bridge. Through villages 3 you now have passed. How do you know, mate? What was first, what was second, and what was last? Oh, mate. I think it was Cantapani. First that one. Then Chris Anthony. And then Dumfus. The hunchback nods once more deeply, and you breathe a sigh of relief. He gestures for you to proceed along the bridge, but calls out one last verse of advice. Beware the lair of the cave demon's maids. Alright, well, let's just have a listen to what he says. For traps as deadly as Medusa's gaze, greet travellers who, of luck bereft, take passageways, not to the left. So, right. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much for your kind advice. Always stick to the right side. And by the way, mate, my advice to you is don't eat yellow snow. So a little bit of knowledge for you. Quickly, fearing any more traps, you hurry across the rope bridge. You are rather grateful when your foot touches the grass on the other side. You follow the path over the crest of the hill and down into the next valley. It is now late afternoon. Ooh. Do you know what? I think it's going to be time for a nap soon. Let's head out for this town. Some way down the hill you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between three peaks, is a village, and quite a large one at that. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. We definitely need to go into the village because we need to sleep. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. Turn around, quick. Hovering by your shoulder, it's a small creature the size of a bird. It is childlike, but very thin with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. How can you see them if they're transparent? It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Yeah, let's just get rid of it. You try and bat the creature off your arm. Don't do that, it complains in a shrill and squeaky voice. You'll break me. Alright, well, get off your shoulder then, mate. The thing hops from one side of your head to the other, and its flickering wings buzzing past your face in an irritating fashion. And hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan. Oh no, these little pixie things. These are devils of the pit, these are. I know what they are. Oh, I can't remember. What are they called again? Creature does a backflip and gives a low bow. I'm a Minimite. No, I don't think that's what they are. Pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe. I'll eat you if you try that again. I'll choke you if you do, the creature whips back. Tiny bounce? Like, we need to just go. Alright, I'm not going anywhere until you've gone. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere till you've gone, you tell the creature forcefully. Well, I'm sure you'll change your mind eventually. Minimites get very attracted or attached to their owners, you see, and I'm quite comfortable. Stay here or go on, well, that's up to you. Let's just get moving. I'll drop you the first chance I get, you tell the creature, who shrugs. I can't argue with that. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are toweringly tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Hey, let's enter the town and go for a drink. And I got this imp on my shoulder as well, haven't I? You continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky. We're in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road, the people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads Glandragor's Tavern, and it's all complete mayhem. Oh gosh, man. A young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and spanking her. Mate, I'm not going to get involved in their kinky antics. Alright, that's up to them. You consider helping the woman. Well, I didn't actually, because I don't want to get involved in their kinky antics. But there is nothing you can do. It is their festival after all. Right, it's the festival of spanking, of course. Right, let's I'm gonna forget the tavern. I need to find an inn. I want to find an inn for the night. You pass beyond the tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to the crystal waterfall. They are tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling. What is going on? I don't want to know about the waterfall. I want to find an inn. You leave the girls to their snickering. Yeah, let's just leave them and go for that inn there. Because it's nighttime. We got to go to bed real quick. You find the village inn buried under a rocky overhang. The proprietor stands in the doorway, a formidable young girl armed with a baker's paddle. What do you want? She squeaks at you. I want a bed, mate. A bed? 5 gold pieces, she says. Plenty of travellers in Shamutanti. We only want the best. How much for a meal, then? The girl looks down at you with a severe expression. 4 gold pieces, she says. No discounts. It's steep, but you haven't eaten today. And your stomach is churning. How would you know? Oh, that's not her saying that. All right, okay. Well, if I pay, that's it. I've got no gold, have I? Still, the rest will be welcome. You hand over 4 gold pieces. No, I wanted the room, not the food. Oh, it doesn't matter. You take a seat in the front room of the inn. The smell pervading from the kitchen are appealing, but the sounds are not. It seems like the cook is dropping as much food as they are cooking. It seems like a child is doing the cooking as best they can. When the meal comes, it's hearty enough. You eat alone and in silence. It seems the festival has driven other travelers out of town. You pay the girl 5 gold pieces and she directs you up to a winding set of stairs to a room in the rafters of the house. From here you have a perfect view over the madness in the streets outside. Children are running riot with blazing torches, waving them in the faces of the adults as they pass. A few men have their legs and arms tied around fence posts. As if this wasn't a festival, it would be a revolution. Man, let's just go to bed. I'm knackered, I'm tired, I want to go to sleep. I had a little drink about an hour ago and doesn't rhyme with sleep. But never mind their problems. Pushing a chest in the way of the door to stop anyone coming in, you stretch yourself out on the straw matting. Jan curls up under your ear. Oh, we've still got her hanging around. Perhaps if you rise early, you can slip out without its noticing. Yeah, definitely. The noise from the streets begins to subside and darkness spreads across the village. Sleep. As you sleep, a strange hunched-over figure shambles through your thoughts, speaking in riddles and offering dread advice. His warning rings in your ears. Greet travelers who of luck bereft. The rest of the night passes silently. And there we go. That's it. All done and dusted, guys. Well, I want to thank you for watching this one. This is it for this episode. Join me next Sunday, and I believe it'll be 2020 when we meet next. Thank you. Yeah, 2020 next Sunday. Continuing this adventure, and by next Sunday we will know when we will be doing the live event. It will be in the first 2 weeks of January at some point. Probably the Sunday after. So I think the first Sunday is something like the 2nd or the 1st of January. So the Sunday after that will most likely be between around the 7th or 8th. So it might even be the 3rd Sunday of January that we do our live event. Either way, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. You'll get access to all my videos. I do flight simulation, truck simulation. I've even started playing Wreckfest. That's a fun game. Plus we do fight and fantasy. There's a whole series 1 where I go through every single book in the series, so you get a chance to see the front cover, a little dip inside of what the artwork looks like, and we talk over the story. And in the coming year we're going to be doing a full-on review for each book, so I'm just preparing that now. So we look forward to that. And I'll see you next time, adventurers. Take care. Bye.